Okay, just want to make sure that we are live right now. For those who are joining us, because you're one of our subscribers to the channel, well, welcome. Let me just make sure that we are proper here. Give me a second while I check everything in. Great, seems like we are live right now. Cool. All right, welcome. Today is a very impromptu arrangement, and I promise some of the subscribers who have actually put in that they want to know more about the reserve residences, and it's going to be a epic week because it's going to launch this week, and the price will finally be reviewed this weekend. So I'm very excited to do a last burst of information as we go along, because every other day we are getting new information and updates that I want to share with every single one of you, especially if today you are kind of considering whether reserve residences is the right property for you. This additional video that I'm doing will help you a lot. So you want to stay tuned all the way to the end, because I have a surprise for you in terms of some of the latest updates in terms of prices, as well as what will you be expecting if today you are comparing reserve residences as well as the other properties around the area. Where do you actually stand? So you want to stay throughout all the way to the end of the video, as I do a very detailed comparison from the different type of bedrooms, the sizes, as well as the prices. All right, so in a short while, the first half of it, I will be covering what are the different stacks, what are the different facing unit type, and we're going to go through all the way from 1 bedroom all the way to 5 bedrooms to showcase to you in terms of reserve residences, in my own opinion, my own research, my views, which are the better stacks and which are the not so good stacks in the entire development of reserve residences, as well as a hint in terms of which is the cheapest as well as the most expensive stacks, in my own opinion, after doing all the research and study. And I hope that whatever that I'm going to share with you today is going to be very useful for you in making a better decision. And all this research that we have done is using our 5 points analysis in our REI method to determine. And this 5 point analysis is what we always have been using to help our clients determine their purchase. Whether are they buying at a higher pricing entry in terms of the development, or even in the entire neighborhood. How will their exit strategy, how can we make your safe exit later on in the next 3, 5, or even 8 years down the road? So there's many factors that we use in our 5 point analysis, and part of the research that we are sharing with you here is also this REI method. Okay, so of course, if let's say some of you who are here, you have already put in your check for it, and you kind of like undecisive whether is this the right buy, and or perhaps you have been visiting the show flat for the past couple of weeks, and you are being kind of brainwashed because, oh, the model is so nice, the show flat is so nice, and but yet at the same time, when you go back home, you don't have the data and research to back up what you want to purchase. All right, so today what I'm going to share with you is very, very transparent. Okay, it's all due to my own research and what we have done in the years of property, that we can see certain trends going on. And that's why I want to do this video to share with you. So in a short while, do stay throughout all the way to the end, because at the end of today's session, I will also cover a very detailed breakdown in terms of the unit types, unit prices, unit size in the entire Beauty World area with you guys. All right, so give me a second while let me just start my sharing. Give me a second. Let me just switch the screen a little bit here. Let's see. All right, you should be able to see the screen right now. Okay, let's do this. All right, so let me just give you guys a quick overview about the reserve residences once again. As I mentioned, this is one of the biggest development projects, integrated project in the entire Beauty World area. So it's going to be very, very exciting. Anything that is a big hype, with bus interchange, commercial development, and there's an integrated transport hub there, as well as a link bridge even to the future community hub center. I think there's a lot of buzz going on. There's a lot of hype, a lot of media attention on this, especially this is under 5 years as well, right? So with 732 residential units, 160 service apartments, close to 2,000 and 19,000 square feet for the commercial space, I think this is even if you don't know about property, you are not in the property market, you cannot don't know lah. Okay, that's how I can see. You will still definitely know about this property. And later on throughout the entire session today, what I'm going to share with you, of course, please do your due diligence check as a homeowner. Okay, we have to run through the data, we have to run through the numbers and research to make sure that what we are doing is correct. So all the response, all the feedbacks, opinions that I'm sharing with you today is based on our own research and data and numbers, and the pricing, especially because it's not out yet. So every pricing that we are sharing here is still an estimate, okay, until the launch day itself. Then the actual prices will be reviewed. So let's just do a recap about why Reserve Residences is getting such a big hype. And of course, this is by the Shino Group and FICE organization. And we are talking about a leasehold property that is fully integrated. And for the longest time, we have been seeing integrated properties, but this is the first time, okay, an integrated property is in the RCR region, which is city fringe. The rest of the integration that you have seen are all in the mass market. We're talking about Buangkok, we're talking about Budok, you know, so some of all this integration, we're talking about the Hillian side or even North Park residences, they are all in the mass market. So Reserve Residences stands out because this is the only one, okay, the only one that perhaps going to set a new ballpark figures for RCR to have an integrated properties. So many people are very, very excited about this. You know, not only just that this is very iconic, but this is the first, all right, with an integrated transport hub in, as well as so many different massive integrations that is going to come into this property. So just to share with you guys a little bit, the number of units is 732 units. And of course, it consists from 1 all the way to 5 bedrooms, penthouses. And we're talking about easily enough car park lots throughout the entire development. All right, so this is definitely a game changer because you will have a very different kind of access, okay? Not just for the residents, even for commercial space, you will get quite a fair bit. And of course, it's a winning partnership between Far East as well as Shino Group. And of course, the winning architect, Woha, is also involved in the designing of this entire space. So if I share with you how it looks like from the development, if you have been to the show flat, you will know that it is massive, okay? It's very impressive, okay? Yeah, the show flat is done to be that way. So from a models to the show flat, everything is done very, very well. You know, so the architects and the landscape architects are trying to really, you know, turn these iconic properties into something that is very wow, a very wow factor right smack in the beauty world area. So it's so iconic that you can't, basically you can't don't see it lah. Or whenever you drive past all the 4 corners, right, you definitely will be able to see this development when it's ready in 2028. All right, so let us quickly jump into straight away the layout, the stacks, the facing. In my own opinion, which types are the best, which type are the most expensive, and why is it a certain facing or layout is something that I would definitely personally select other than the rest of it. All right, so one thing to take note, there are so many different layouts. Yeah, there's so many different layouts, different facings. So I think this is one of the most that I've ever seen for the past 2 to 3 years, all right, in terms of the number of different type of layouts. So it can get very confusing to you as a homeowner or investor, first time buying properties even, and you'll be confused by it so much that you will just go with the flow, all right, which is definitely one of the biggest mistake a lot of buyers during the balloting time, during purchase, they are being kind of cornered into accepting a certain type of properties before they even went to purchase. So I always like to do a lot of homework beforehand so that whether our clients and families, they understand where they are heading into in terms of the directions, in terms of the layout, in terms of even the facing as well as the floor level. So we go very detailed in terms of our RAR method to decide whether this development is something that we should go for from an investment per se or for our own stay per se. So let us just dive in straight into the first type of layout, which is of course your first your 1 bedroom. Okay. In my opinion, they have a lot of 1 and 2 bedrooms. So generally, these 2 type of layouts are always the quickest for people to purchase, because in terms of quantum, it's definitely lower. And from an investable angle, a lot of people will still want to buy a 1 or 2 bedroom unit. Okay. For 1 or 2 bedroom unit. Okay. All right. So let's take a, I mean, there are basically 2 1 bedroom comparison that you can see. One is the 441 square foot and the other one is a 495 square foot. So I will be actually toggling different screens later on to let you see the layout as well as the site plan so that you can see where the facing are and where do they go actually. So if you look at one of the cheapest, in my opinion, okay, when I look at the cheapest kind of layout, of course, we're talking about the 441 square feet. Okay, why do I say so? Because based on size, okay, based on size, of course, your overall quantum is going to be lower. And the one part is that this is one with no balcony. Okay, you can see that there's no balcony for the 441 square foot unit. And developers are, of course, they are also business owners. They will definitely know how to place their units, the facing in the different parts of the property to kind of corner someone who really needs to buy at this kind of budget to go for it. All right, so one of the cheapest, in our opinion, for the one bedroom will be this size without the balcony, and they will be at the stack 84. Okay, they will be at stack 84. If you can see from here, right, stack 84 is where? All right, stack 84 is here. Okay, stack 84 is here. So if you look at stack 84, you may be having the option of buying from 5th floor all the way to 16th floor. It depending on your quantum of how much do you want to invest in this property. As I mentioned, one bedroom generally is still for investment purposes. And with no balcony, with a smaller size, we're looking at perhaps your entry point, maybe about 1.1 million range onwards. All right, all the pricing that we're going to share today is still an estimate. We would not know the exact launch price until this weekend when they're going to launch it on. All right, so many people are kind of sitting back and wait and see how far they're going to launch these prices. On an estimate, we do have some guideline, but for a one bedroom, I would say that if they are going to price it within the 1.1 million, this would be a very fantastic cheap option that we can go for. And of course, anything that is lower pricing always comes with certain form of what different considerations lah. Okay, cannot be everything good, everything cheap, highest floor. There must be something that we need to give back. Okay, so any properties that is facing this side, okay, we're talking about this facing towards the Upper Bukit Timah Road, definitely you will get the west side. Okay, so you're facing the Upper Bukit Timah Road junction, that's one. And no matter what you do, your west sun facing is coming in this direction. Okay, your west sun. So whether you're getting on the lower floor, the higher floors, your west sun is definitely there. I think that could be also one of the reasons why the developers are not building balconies there, because perhaps those with balconies, they may not even want to use it. So they want to maximize the space a little bit for this stack 84, which is, in our opinion, the more the kind of more sensitive price. Okay. So of course, the other layout that you will be able to get for one bedroom is those that is 495 square feet, which is the show flat you layout. You know, so they usually tend to always show you the best of the best in the show flat. Okay, and for the one bedroom difference is that this one comes with the balcony. Okay, one bedroom layouts usually, generally, you can't go too far off with how they are being placed. Right, you can't. It's usually an open kitchen. You have space for dining, living, and then your master room and bathroom. That's it. All right. So the 495 square foot, the only difference between these two that it now comes with balcony. All right. So if it comes with balcony, then the other option is that if you intend to also go and choose for this property, because of the size is a bigger. So you're expecting at least about 1.2 million and above from the 5th to even 16th floor, depending on how much the developers are going to increase on the floor to floor level. All right. So how do you gauge from a floor to floor level? Sometimes we have seen properties. I don't want to name other projects, but we have seen them loading at least 15,000 to even 25,000 per floor jump. Okay, which means, let's say from a 5th floor to 6th floor, they may load easily 20,000 or 15,000. Well, sometimes we also see in the mass market, in the OCR area, we do see them loading about 5 to even 9,000, 10,000 at times. So this is really depending on the developer strategy when they are launching their properties. And we also have seen in recent launches where one floor jump is actually about 110,000, but it's only for that one floor. All right, so sometimes developers will have a very unique price point to jump per floor, right? Perhaps from the, let's say, from a 8 to 9 floor, if they find that the jump is actually justifiable, they may even load in more than $100,000 sometimes, which is recently launches. We did see that. All right, so those who actually choose the one floor just above, and they are paying 100,000 more. All right, so this is not uncommon. It's actually quite common in terms of the strategy, which is why one of the key things that we help our clients to purchase properties like this is really to kind of study very, very well in terms of pricing, in terms of per square foot, before we even decide whether which property to purchase. So today, if you have no one that is helping you to do all these things, do reach out to me and we'll be able to do a last quick, research about what your objective is, how you want to select the properties for your future 5 or even 10 years down the road. And without doing this homework, I can tell you it will be very confusing. All right. And you'll be buying based on impulse. You'll be buying based on guessing your way into the market, which is very scary. Okay. So where is the 495 A2 type facing? Let me just show you. They're all on the 85 and 86, right? Also the same facing. Okay. So they're all here. So they are also getting the west sun. So basically you have the window, the full-fledged window and no balcony, and the balcony to choose from. And all of them are facing the west facing and the Bukit Timah Junction. So it really depends on whether are you a balcony lover or do you have a limitation in terms of your price point. So the other type of facing that we are getting, right, is the 95 and 97, stack 95 and 97. Excuse me. Okay, so stack 95 and 96, sorry, stack 95 and 96. So we are talking about facing here, right? So these are the 495 square foot as well with the balcony. And this area, of course, though they do not have the west sun, okay, do not have the west sun, they likely will be a little bit more expensive. Okay, so west sun is something that as a homeowner, we always tend to avoid. So developers will also be more sensitive, pushing the west sun units at a more at a very comfortable pricing. So people will just take it up, even though it's with the west sun facing. Of course, for stack 95 and 96, because it's more premium with no west sun, then perhaps likely the pricing here will be definitely more expensive. But at the same time, do also take note, no matter which floor you are at, the Jalan Jurong Kechil Road is still very, very busy. Okay, so you're still very, very busy. So these are all the outward facing units. So let us take a look at the inward facing units, that one that we can see. For the one without the 441 square foot unit, which is stack 81. So 81 is also another inward facing that units that we can actually consider. Okay, so if you are inward facing lovers, meaning you are trying to avoid all the noises around the 4 junctions, right? And you want to have a peace of mind that you do not need to worry about noises, you don't want to see west sun, then the inward facing for the pool is definitely something that you want to really consider. And pricing wise, we are estimating at least about 1.18 million onwards for the 441 square foot. Okay, so for stack 81, of course, this unit is without the balcony. So you will still enjoy a good setback here, about 45 meters away towards the Creek collection site. So you're kind of a distance away, which is fairly comfortable. And because of Woha, right? I mean, if you have seen some of the developments by Woha, the architect, you have seen that their landscaping usually are very, very pretty. Okay, so you are really like going into a landscape of water with greens. So I will be very confident to say that the landscaping in the inward facing is going to be very impressive. That says anything that is impressive, anything that you're away from the noise, price point also might be a little bit higher. So of course, for the inward facing for this stack of 81, we're talking about from 6th floor all the way to 16th floor, depending on which one you want to go for and how lucky you are in terms of your numbers for balloting. Okay, so in my opinion, for any inward facing, it's really not necessary to go up too high. Because why? Because ultimately, if you're going above the Creek collection height, right, then you will risk facing the PIE side, which is the noise level may be a little bit disturbing, although you are very, very far away. Okay, but ultimately, we will still want to reserve some of our lower floor units if we are doing the facing inwards. Okay, and let me share with you the most expensive one, the way I see. Of course, stack 81 and 82, you can basically decide how these two properties are, because basically 81 is very near to stack 82. Okay, you can see that how close by you are in these two. Okay, you are so close to each other. So you may be, okay, maybe because of this, the developer will also kind of price it a little bit more careful, above 1.18 million onwards. And if you are talking about the most expensive unit, in our opinion, for the 1 bedroom, will be the one at stack 91. Okay, stack 91, this is the one that we will believe that in terms of pricing, it will be the most expensive because it has everything that a 1 bedroom should have. You're away from the noises, you don't have a west sun. In terms of distance to the next block, you're also the furthest away. So if you are able to have a very good queue number and you're able to have the capacity in terms of your budget to purchase a 1 bedroom, you have an open pool view, but don't expect this property price to be cheap. Okay, it will definitely be one of the highest among the rest of the developers because of the premium in this. All right, so this is definitely something that if let's say you really want to enjoy reserves, pay a little bit more to enjoy it, why not? Okay, all right, so let's just take a look at the layout again. So that you have two layouts. One is one with balcony and one without balcony. So let us quickly move to the 2 bedroom and 1 bathroom configuration. So there are basically 3 different layouts that you can choose from 560 to 614, and the 2 different types of design that you can actually choose from. All right, so big, of course, for 2 bedrooms, generally there are always the 2 bed 1 bath and 2 bed 2 bath configuration. So the question is, which one should you go for? All right, the quickest way to decide whether you should go for a 2 bed 1 bath or 2 bed 2 bath is based on your affordability. Okay, if you are able to buy into the 2 bed 2 bath, I would say go for it. All right, 2 bed 1 bath generally are really for those that, it's kind of a little bit stretching your budget already if you're going to 2 bed 2 bath. That's why you want to just get your 2 bed 1 bath, which is still very, very comfortable. Because for reserve residences, I think is one of the very impressive part that I see for their 2 bed 1 bath is how they actually do their layout. And the layout is actually a dumbbell configuration. Okay, a dumbbell configuration, which typically don't come in most of the other developments and projects. And so why is a dumbbell? What do you mean by dumbbell unit? Meaning you're getting one side on this side as well as the other one. So you're maximizing your space. There's no corridor space for you to waste. Okay, so dumbbell units layout like this, even though it's a 2 bed 1 bath, fairly are going to be in terms of space, in terms of size and layout, is actually very, very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. All right, with this open kitchen concept that you have. So let us take a look at what will be the kind of lowest sensitive pricing in our opinion. Okay, so for 2 bed 1 bath, if you're looking for 2 bed 1 bath, the way I see is that stack 87. Okay, stack 87 will likely be the one that is more sensitive price. Okay, 87, which is all the west sun facing unit. Okay, so same thing again. Why? Because it's west sun, right? And we're estimating perhaps for the 614 square foot unit from the 5th to the 16th floor, they could be close to 1.5 million. Okay, so the 2 bed 1 bath, and this is the one with balcony. With balcony. So yeah, so the west sun facing will definitely deter the developers to kind of price it too much. So they will definitely be more sensitive in this. Whether they will load in a lot more in terms of the higher floors, that one we really depends. Okay, so in our experience with many different projects, sometimes they will load their higher floors for west sun facing a lot more because of the sunset view. All right, which is spectacular if you are facing the Upper Bukit Timah Road Junction. Why? Because you're totally unblocked. Okay, in front of you generally are all the landed properties, the low rise. So imagine if you're up there on the 16th floor, your view is tremendous. All right, so this is definitely another upside that you want to kind of exchange your west sun to a high floor unit. All right, so of course you don't want to choose the in-between, or you get both the high floor yet you don't get the view. That kind of properties, for that kind of floor level, generally you either go lowest or you go the highest. All right, don't go in between because you're neither here nor there. Okay. All right, so of course another one that we may see that perhaps the pricing could be a little bit more sensitive could be the stack 94. Okay, stack 94 could also be another one that we may think that from a pricing perspective it could be lower. Okay, and another one is also stack 110. Okay, stack 110 is something that we also believe it could be price sensitively. Okay, so of course for the 94, of course you are facing the Jalan Kechil Road, whereas for 110 you are facing, of course, the nearer to the PIE side. Okay, so these are all, I mean, so of course these are our opinion and our research that where we want to kind of decide before we even purchase the property. Because if you have not done any of this kind of research, then you are really risking yourself choosing any properties that is out there during the day that if let's say you really go for ballot, you'll risk yourself making a wrong choices because you have not done your homework before. So I really urge, if let's say any one of you here have already decided that, hey, I really want to buy this property, but you have not put in any check or you have not really selected your units, reach out to me and see whether we can really rush out some of all this research to help you at least save you from choosing the wrong property. Okay, let's not fall into the wrong trap. By making a mistake, this potentially will be a $1 million mistake to make. Okay, why not take some time out and do some of all this comparison and let us help you to do it better. Okay, so yeah, so as I mentioned, 110 facing the other side could also be one of the lower pricing because of the expressway, and the key thing is that we also must understand for the stack 94 and stack 110, their layout, okay, their layout width is also very, very comfortable. If you can see let me see, yeah, so they have very good comfortable width in terms of their living and dining. Okay, so this is something that you must always take note of. Very, very comfortable. And if let's say we're talking about the lowest kind of sensitive pricing in terms of the pool facing, we're estimating the lowest, cheapest pool facing, or you should, because due to the size, right, and you will definitely buy a smaller unit, all right, which is the B1 unit. Okay, so B1 unit, if we're talking about the space and the size, you should be about the stack 99. Okay, so this is the lowest in terms of the 2-bed 1-bath. So just take note, a 2-bed 1-bath generally should hover about 600 plus square feet. Okay, but right now, because of the size of this, they managed to squeeze in a 560, which means pricing wise is definitely going to be more sensitive, very low. But yet at the same time, you're also you're kind of sacrificing in terms of space, because 560 usually we have seen in a bigger 1-bedroom, 2 plus study, 2 plus 1 bath is possible, but it might be a little bit tight. So this is something that you just have to take note in terms of selection. Although this facing is one of the best because you're inward facing, you do not need to worry about all the noises or the west sun going on. So let's quickly look into one of the favorite for a lot of Singaporeans when they are buying properties for investment is always the 2-bed 2-bath. Okay, so basically there are different types of layouts from 646, 667, as well as 743, which is the show flat layout. Okay, so again, Far East have done a fantastic job in making sure that the 2-bed 2-bath are all dumbbell unit. So efficiency of space, no wastage, and yet at the same time, you're able to maximize the layout in terms of your placement. So let us just take a look at, from a layout perspective, what is the main difference of the different layouts. Of course, the show flat layouts, they always show you the bigger ones and the best configuration. All right, although it's a non-dumbbell layout, but because the space is big, okay, it's 743 for 2-bed 2-bath, which is very, very comfortable. Okay, they are very they're very rewarding in this case. So from a research perspective, right, we will say that from a facing stack perspective, stack 114 could be one of the lower pricing in our opinion. Okay, lower pricing unit. So for 114, you can see why 114 Okay, so one of the key things is because this is away from a lot of the other you're, in terms of distance, you're away from the Jalan Kechil Road. Okay, although you are also still getting the west sun. So you can see that there's kind of a certain pattern. Of course, this is my own opinion in terms of they may price the west sun lower pricing. But if they go against this, then everybody will also have to change their strategy along the way. So this is truly only just based on what we have seen so far from different developers, how they do their pricing, and then we estimate for reserve residences as well. Okay, so please don't quote me if anything that you come in, hey Edmund, I thought you said this is the cheapest, but it came out to be highest. Developers have their own strategy. Nobody knows. So based on our own assessment, please do your own due diligence on the day when you're selecting your property. Okay, these are my views of what I personally feel is a better unit, but it doesn't mean that developer will launch that towards my own guidelines. Okay, so please take it with a pinch of salt. All right, so 114. Okay, 114 is definitely something that I see, and of course 113 as well. These two are basically side by side. So generally, I would say that because of the west sun and the road, the pricing is one of the more sensitive one. And if you are talking about the lower pricing for the pool facing, okay, so we're talking about stack 100 and 108. Okay, these two are definitely priced very, very well. I mean, even 107 is possible. Okay, but 107, you just take note because you are so close to the next property. Technically, your uh your 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom unit can actually see you lah. Okay, so just take note of that. And if let's say we're talking about the other layout, which is a show flat layout of 473, which is a very, very comfortable 2-bed, 2-bath. Okay. Even though it's not a dumbbell unit, I think the efficiency of space is there to very, very comfortable for a couple or even a couple with a young kid to actually stay there beyond the 5 years mark. Definitely. Okay. So if you're not looking at the dumbbell concept, you can only choose this design. Okay. This is the only 2-bed, 2-bath. And the developers are very careful to price this well, because they also understand, right? A lot of Singaporeans, we like to buy the 2-bed, 2-bath dumbbell, okay, which will, that means everybody will rush to the what, 646 or even 667 ma, but yet they're facing, hey, not so good wow, got wet sun you know, although you can buy it maybe at a cheaper rate, but then there are some of all these other negativity or concerns that you may have. But if you want to choose the inner facing, okay, which is the show flat unit, they may be no noise, most expensive, then you decide whether do you want to sacrifice your dumbbell or not dumbbell lah. So this is how we decide based on every client's directions, objective. Why do they why are they buying this property for? You know, how will we help them to exit? What is the exit strategy and all? Because all the facing for the non-dumbbell unit, okay, and I will personally feel that they are going to be priced higher, you know, are all in the stack 89. Okay, 89. Let me just use another different color. All right, stack 89 side. Okay, so you are away from everything. All right, very far away from the distance to your crib collection. You have the full pool view. No need to go for very high floor. It doesn't matter. But most importantly is the bathroom all have windows. Okay, so there are definitely certain perks, certain positive and negative of every single layout, every single facing. And that's the reason why we have to sit down with you to really go through every single details, right down to the windows of a bedroom and windows of a bathroom, windows of the kitchen, every single details we must really analyze before we make a decision on whether is this project ideal for us. Okay. And the other one that I would say probably is going to be the lowest pricing, okay, that is with 732 will be at stack 112. Okay, 112 potentially potentially is going to be the lowest in pricing because uh it may definitely cost a lot more because it's bigger in size, but you are also getting the West Sun facing and the Jurong Kechil facing, so could be a little bit more sensitive in terms of price. So let us come to the next layout, which is a 3-bedroom plus study, which a lot of the 2-bedroom plus study. So I'm going to go through this quite quickly, all right, because there's only not so many types, and they're all within the 721 square feet is the dumbbell unit. So the cheapest stack likely is going to be in 113, as well as for 113 is of course the floor level. Let me just show you where 113 is. Okay, so 113 is here, and likely for the 2 plate plus study, right, it's only from the 18th floor onwards all the way to 31st. Okay, so that's why if you don't understand, right, there are some units, there's lower floors are of a different type of properties. So the lower floors before for stack 113 are all just the 2 bedrooms. Okay, the two bed 1 bath. But anything above 18th floor are the 2 bed plus study already. So that's why there are different designs. You have to be very careful. And for up to date, what we have noticed is for stack 113, although it's open up from 18 all the way to 31st floor, that the building is there. Right now, information is updated that they will only open up units for sale until the level 22nd. So you want to buy 23rd all the way to 31st, you also cannot buy. So it's up to the floor, 22nd floor only. So 18 to 22nd, we're talking about how many units? 4 units lah. Okay, 4 units for that stack only. So that's why they make it very sought after, limited edition. Okay, if you want to buy this layout, West Sun facing road, you want high floor so that you can kind of clear away some of all these noises, are prepared to pay a premium because I'm not selling you anything above 23rd floor. Okay, that's how their strategy is. Of course, what I see is the most expensive one will likely be 101. Okay, 101 will likely be the most expensive, okay, in terms of the facing, because this is really practically unblocked all the way, inner view, pool view, and this has been a corner unit, which means your windows are in your dining, your study, your bed, bathroom, except your master bath don't have. All right, so we go into very details like this for the 497 square foot corner unit. Okay, so 797, yeah. Okay, 797 unit. So if we want to take a look at the layout, you can take a look. We have window here, we have window here, even the study, we have a window. So only the master bath don't have lah. Okay, the rest of it you will have ventilation. So these are all the small little touches. Today, whether you're buying for homestay, this is important. Even if you're buying it from an investment per se, this is also equally important. Why do I say that? Because as an investor, you must understand when you buy this property, the next round that you're going to do is perhaps you want to rent it out. And as per any tenants, right, they're also renting it for comfort, for stay. So you also need to take note of some of all these comfortables, kind of criteria to fit into your property. And not only for your tenant, even in time to come when you want to sell this property, the next buyer who comes in, this will be your advantage, that your property is different from the rest, and it can help you to call a certain premium or certain unique selling point because your property has all the windows. And of course, with windows, with inner view, be prepared also in terms of your price point, it's going to be a little bit higher than the rest. That's why we deem that this unit will be the highest, okay, for the 2-bed plus study. So be prepared. If you really want to get all the perks of reserve residences, no west sun, you know, you don't have the noise, this unit, prepared to pay a little bit more premium than the rest, so that you have an ease of mind for the rest of the years, even if you want to rent it out or whether you want to sell them. Cool. So let's go to the 3-bedroom. 3-bedroom is the ideal for a lot of homeowners who just want to buy and then stay in for the next 10 years or so. Why do I say 10 years? Because reserve is only be ready in 5 years, and maybe you want to just stay on there for another 5 more years for the entire development, entire beauty world transformation to be ready, and for prices to continue to go up. Okay, so this is crucial. So of course, for the 3-bedroom, we have two types. One is 883 and 958. So generally, the layout, of course, for a 3-bedroom, typically, the interesting part is that they are able to build a dumbbell. You can see they're able to build a dumbbell concept for a 3-bedroom, which means it's not your typical corridor type. And this is how they are able to maximize the space very fantastically. And if you can see that they have a tuck-in kind of kitchen space here. All right, so these are all the small little perks that we see. It helps a lot. So let's come to, let's say the pricing. I would say the pricing, but more importantly is which one is the lower pricing stack? Which one is the one that we should be looking at? Okay, let us take a look. The way that we see is, give me a second. Let me see. All right, so 117 likely is going to be the pricing that is most effective. Okay, 117. Okay, stack 117. So 117. Give me a second. Let me just do this. Where is it? Okay, 117. 117 is here. Okay. So, I mean, of course, just now you said, hey, I thought this one is a 2-bedroom. Yeah, that's what I mentioned, right? Any units below a certain floor, it could be the 2-bedroom, and anything above a certain floor, it is the 3-bedroom already. So this stack at 883 square feet, we are estimating it to be at least about 2.2 million. Okay, about 2,400 plus per square foot. Of course, this is just an estimate. If they launch everything above the 2,005 per square foot, then everything will jump at least $150,000 easily. So for this stack, even though you are facing the near to the highway and everything, this stack is also from the 18th to the 31st floor. Okay, they are the higher batch for the 3-bedrooms. And same thing as per the other 2 plus study I shared, they are only opening up until the 22nd floor. So that means there's only 4 units in this layout to grab. Okay, so this is something you must take note of. So another one that is the bigger 3-bedroom, if you can see from here, the bigger 3-bedroom, which is 958 square feet. Okay, very practical. All right, you have a very good enclosed kitchen. All right, with window. Okay, with window as well. So this is a very comfortable. You have a very comfortable foyer, and it is still considered as a dumbbell configuration. All right. So this design I would say stack 97 is something that you can consider. All right, stack 97. Let's take a look. Where is stack 97? Okay, stack 97, if you ask me, it'll be one of the most popular stack. Okay, you get one of the most popular stack. And I would say majority who are looking for this size will aim for this stack. Okay, and with more competition, how will the developers price it? Let's see this weekend. And because there's only that number of units from 6th floor to 16th floor only, there's only that numbers, 10 units to choose from. So if today you only have enough quantum to purchase this property, and you really need to get a very good numbers in order to choose a 3-bedroom that you have no west sun, although you're still facing the Jurong Kechil Road, but at least you are not having the west sun. Okay, so this is something very crucial to understand for stack 97. All right, let me see. So for the stack 97, of course, it has not all good points lah. You see, you must also understand that you're kind of close to the edge of the 1,400 square foot unit, which is a 4-bedroom unit. Okay, you're kind of part of it. Maybe you are kind of seeing it lah, or may not be when you stand out and you have a different side of view. So these are some of the small little things. If you're looking at floor plans, you really need to be more accurate in looking at it. So the lower pricing, sensitive pricing for reserve residences for the 3-bedroom, I will say it will be stack 92. Okay, the inward facing. Okay, stack 92. Okay, also the reason, the layout lah. The layout, this is one layout that perhaps some people don't prefer because it has a little bit of odd angles. Okay, if you can see how it's been shaped. So this could perhaps, because of the layout, developers may price it a little bit more careful, and because there's no storeroom in this property, so you need to kind of weigh out what is your priority when you're choosing a 3-bedroom. Okay, so another 3-bedroom design that I think we have mixed views lah. Okay, we have mixed views for this next one, which is the Horizon collection. Okay, mixed views. Some of them they prefer this, some of them not. I leave it to you to share your comments. Whether do you prefer a property like this, in the Horizon collection, where it basically splits your property into two. Okay, all right. So of course there are two different type of designs, which we're going to uncover both later on. So let us just see the one with the private lift first. All right. So Horizon collection, the interesting part is that they basically built like a 2-segment, right? Okay. One segment is where your living dining is, and then your kitchen is totally a separate part. So I have one camp that says that, hey, actually, Edmund, this one is not bad, ma. I split my kitchen. Basically, it's a very private area. So anything that happens to my helper in the kitchen, I don't want to know, ma. So it's away. So even when you're housing guests, your friends in the living and dining hall, it kind of separated. You don't see the kitchen. You don't see what is all the preparation of work. So some of them, they prefer this way. Of course, another group that says that they don't like this. Why? Because anything happens, the helper go out also, they also don't know. How many of you will also be worried? Why, now that your helper have the whole command of the entire kitchen and their own space, and they even have what? They even have their own exit entrance. So the key thing is that if anything the helper is doing, they go out, they also don't know one. Because everything is within that one zone, basically like a private villa or like a wing or private wing that side. Yeah, so of course they have this flexi space here that what can you do with it? I would say more storage, or I don't think you'll put another study room there, because it's kind of weird, right? If you really want to build a study room there. Yeah, but of course for this 3-bedroom collection for Horizon, it really depends on how you see. This is not your conventional layout, okay, to split it into two sides. But when you come into the segment 1, right, this is a proper regular layout. If I just divide it into this. All right, so your proper 3-bedroom types is just there. And kind of interesting is because they built the entire private lift in the center. So even when you have guests who comes in, generally they will not go into the kitchen area. And the rest of the space is up to you to work on it. All right. So of course, for this kind of layout for 1313, like I said, there's not a lot of units as well. There's only 38 units. And the stack is on stack 88. Okay, stack 88. So stack 88 is here. Let me show you. Okay. So stack 88, of course, again, is west sun, the road in front of you. If you get high enough, you may be getting the very nice sunset view, okay, and unblocked totally, because all your front is, everything is unblocked. Estimated prices definitely above the 3 mil mark. Okay, so if you're looking for a comfortable 1313 square foot unit, which is very sizable, prepared to pay at least about 3 million for it. Good size. It's just whether you can accept the layout or not. Okay, whether you can accept the layout or not. All right, so another one that we see for the type is the one without. This one is another kind of layout. All right, so it's also kind of different lah. Or if you can see the way that they structure from the private lift, they split it into two sides. Okay, so for this property, the interesting part is that your household shelter kind of elongated lah. So you kind of course, you won't see each other. Okay, you won't see each other, but you have kind of again a bigger area, because this one is a bigger size of 1,324. And for this unit, it's a pool facing unit from the 5th to 16th floor, and it's at stack 106. Okay, stack 106, which is the inwards facing. So this one, you see your views as well as your creek collection opposite. So same thing again, my advice always, if you are looking for the inward facing, they will not be priced cheap. Definitely. Why? Because you're away from the noises, you're away from the west sun. So you're prepared to pay a little bit more premium. And if your affordability is a concern, then no, you do not necessarily really need to go high. Okay. You just hope that your ballot number is good, your numbers are great, that you can buy something of a lower floor, because you're inward facing. What you want is really the greens, the pool view that you can get, the enjoyment. Although perhaps some clients will say that, hey, but it's very noisy, people swimming, kids playing. But it's better than you get the west sun, right? It's better than you get the noise level, right? So it's really, what is your priority when you're buying a property? Okay, so one of the key things that whenever we use our 5-step analysis in our REI method is we will also list down the priority of what our clients want. Okay, we, of course, any human being will want everything, but you and I, we know lah, it cannot be everything. So we will list down what is the main priority. Okay, which one is something that we can forego? What's the expectation? Something that we can, adjust and, make sure that we have the needs and the wants are being balanced, but yet at the same time, we can't have every single good things about property unless we really have a lot of money. Then maybe if money is not a concern, we can go for a lot. So the next thing I want to go through is the reserve for the 3-bed plus study. Of course, there's only 14 units, so you can't choose much. There's only one stack. Okay, only one stack. And which is at 110. Okay. So the layout for 3 plus study is fantastic at 1,216. So you can't go wrong with this kind of properties to buy for own stay. Okay. And typically, those who are buying for this kind is you want to stay beyond the 10 years mark in a transformation area. So because you have everything from a study, right? You have a utility, you have a proper kitchen, enclosed. So you have everything that a property has. The only thing that I find it a little bit weird for this is that the moment when you come in, your dining is right in the center, which this can be easily resolved if you move your dining to the balcony. Okay, so they managed to maximize the space even for a 3 plus study to become like a dumbbell unit. Okay, so this is something that is very interesting. And for the facing, let me just share with you where if you are looking at a 3 plus study, you'll be looking at least the 110 facing. Okay, stack 110. Stack 110 will be the one, okay, facing outwards. So that means, of course, your expressway noise and everything will be averagely, we will say will be at least 3 million and above as well for this property. Of course, the pricing are just our estimate. So I know some of you were asking for, a lot of people don't do the 4-bedroom and 5-bedroom units comparison. And it's not that we don't want to do it. It's just that even for reserve residences, there's only that one layout, that one stack for you to choose, because they did not do a lot of such properties in the number of units for reserve residences. So you can see that the comparison of the units mostly are still the 1 and the 2-bedroom. Okay, 1 and the 2-bedroom. All right, the 3 bedrooms are also holding on to a very comfortable level, but the 4 and 5 bedrooms are very limited edition, if you ask me, in reserve residences. So if you really want to hold a piece of iconic integration, and you want to go for the big ones 4 bedrooms or even a penthouse unit, right? I would suggest you really want to kind of consolidate what you want to do and buy this property, and you want to stay there long enough. Okay, you definitely want to stay there long enough. And let's take a look at the first type of the 4 bedroom, which is the 1475 square foot unit. Okay, 1475 square foot unit, which is typically very comfortable in terms of the layout. It's just that it's a little bit weird in terms of this corner. Okay, the reason why they built, they design this way is so that they can tilt the entire property to let you enjoy some of the views, and you can get unblocked for this for how they are being stacked up. Because generally you are right smack in the center of the 4 corners of the roads, right? And you have some certain facing, you are facing the west sun, certain facing you may be facing another building in front of you in time to come. Some of you are facing the PIE, some of you are facing the nature reserve. So what the Far East is trying to do, although it's odd angles, is they want to give you the best view possible in whatever they can. That is how they decided from day one. And that is why you are getting some of the odd angles in the property, which is definitely not a bad thing. Okay, but if let's say we are somebody who's not used to staying in a property that is odd angles, then this may be something that you really, really want to reconsider whether reserve residences of this layout with this design is something that you can accept or not. So for 4 bedroom, we are estimating maybe for 102 will be one of the cheaper ones. Okay, 102. Okay, 102. Same thing, you will still get the West Sun, your Jurong Kechil Road is there. If you go high enough, perhaps you could clear some of all these noises a little bit. And at 1,475 square foot, we're estimating at least it will be close to 3.5 million. Okay, at least close to 3.5 million. And Stack 98 is also another one that you can consider, which is this. Of course, you are inward facing, so you do not need to go for too high of a floor level again. All right, so the most expensive one, okay, if you ask me, will be the 115 and 116. Okay, this will be the most expensive because they are what? When you're high enough, you're facing rifle range reserves. Okay, and they are the biggest in terms of sizes. So quantum wise, depending on what kind of PSF they are launching, then we will know how big it is. All right, because the 1625 square foot unit is the most regular layout. If you really want to buy 4 bedrooms, will you accept the 1,400 square feet unit or the 1,600 square foot unit when it's more regular? All right, so it comes with a cost. All right, the bigger size, no odd angles, but it's a bigger size means I pay more. All right, the other one is odd angle, smaller size, maybe within my affordability, but then I get the West Sun. So these are all consideration factors before you buy a property. Can you imagine just a short session like this? There's so many things to take note of, just to choose one property. So can you imagine the work we do behind the scene every time we need to help our clients to buy a property so that in the next 3-5 years down the road, we can easily exit it with a very, very safe exit. All right. So coming in, of course, the Creekside collection, this is, of course, one of the most like atas exclusive kind of 3 bedroom unit type. So this is very important. The important part for Creekside is they are all placed towards the PIE. So you must understand that is the first thing that you must know. And because of that, they give you a lot of perks inside the property. You have wider frontage for your living hall. You have higher ceiling. They give you some of all these perks so that you can ignore that PIE is just behind you. Okay, would it constitute to noise? We can't say there's no noise, or no matter what, it's a very busy expressway. Even though they place it all the way at the back, which is where your kitchen is, you still have to open window one, correct, from kitchen. So I have my reserves if I say that you totally will shut off the noise, but I would say you minimize the noise or whatever that they can. This is what Far East has already promised that they can do. And also later on, when I show you the layout, the design, you will know a little bit what else is something that we need to be a little bit more careful about. Okay, so later on I'll share with you. So of course, for this Creekside, in terms of the size is 1119. We're estimating perhaps about 3 million onwards. And you get a very good ceiling height with very good dumbbell kind of layout, which is great. Okay, so this is the one where you basically have everything, your household shelter, your enclosed kitchen, everything is there. All right. So, but also take note because behind you is your, what do you call it? The PIE. So Creekside collection, you must understand, is all here. Okay, Creekside is all here. And do take note that this blue color one that I just showed, these are all the ventilation from where? From the malls. All right. So every integrated properties will always have this ventilation where they will basically suck out the hot air out, from the malls lah. So if you're really, really looking to buy inwards for Creek Collection, which is their premium, you also must understand behind you will always have hot air lah. Chances are, okay, because of ventilation purposes, it will come out hot air, which that's the reason why they built it there, to also be a little bit further distance from PIE, and it will kind of maybe reduce the noise a little bit more. But this is of course subject to the actual when the building is done, then we'll be able to assess it better. But from the theory and what we have seen so far from all the different developments, this could be something that can help shield off not only just the noise, but also the distance away from the main PIE. Okay, so that's why you have the Creek Collection. Of course, Creek Collection, you also have the bigger size, which is the 1,335 square foot unit. Okay, and this is the one with the private lift. Okay, so this private lift is the only main difference. So which stack are we looking at? Of course, we're talking about stack 120, 120. Okay, stack 120, as well as stack 119, which is with the private lift. So just take note. Let me show you the details. Okay, 120 is here. Okay, this is with the no private lift. And if you're going for 119, then that is the private lift. That's why they are the best in terms of facing inwards. Okay, if you don't care about what behind you of the PIE and the noise, very generally, that's why they price Creek Collection as one of the premium product. Okay, one of their premium product. And of course, for Creek Collection, there's also the 4-bedroom. Okay, so we are inching it towards the bigger ones now. Creek Collection, this is not going to be cheap, man. Okay, we're talking about easily 5 million and above. Okay, for this kind of size. Yeah, so of course, layout wise, you can't go wrong with a 4-bedroom in the Creek Collection. The depending on how high are they going to put in for this property. If the property is about 5 million and above, we're talking about easily 2,600 plus per square foot already. So if you are a big family, you are so familiar with Beauty World area, you're going to stay there for life. The Creek Collection layout is, I think, one of the very, very best with your own private lift, so it becomes a really home lifestyle that you can just buy and just continue staying there for the longest time, and you don't need to shift out from this area at all. Totally no need. Okay, so of course this one is at stack 120. Okay, stack 120. They have a exclusive tree. The blocks are always higher ground, by the way, just to let you all know. So moving forward, we also have another type of layout. Like say there's millions of layout here that we have to very, very accurately, help you to match it to your objective. All right, so the Treetop Collection, we call them the Treetop Garden Villas. Okay, they are always easily priced from 5 million and above, and they are all the 4+ study bedroom. If you can see, the size wise is close to 2,000 square feet. Okay, although this is a big unit, I think one of the key thing the developers are trying to achieve is that today, if you want to buy big, then you have to accept what we have, which is why this layout is also facing the West Sun as well as the Upper Bukit Timah Road. So the big units are all having some of all this. But if you ask me, will people buy? There will still be people who will buy, because it's very rare to have such a premium product in the Beauty World area, and reserve residences is going to lead the pack. It's definitely going to lead the pack for this. And if you look at the entire 5-bedroom unit at 2,336 square feet, this is also another premium type of properties. Easily, they're also facing the Bukit Timah Road and the West Sun. Although this one has a little bit of the odd angles in terms of layout. Okay, but like I say, if you want to buy 5-bedroom, you can only have this kind of choice. That's why the comparison, there's not much choices, but there's only just one stack. Take it or leave it. That's how they do it. And if you are just looking for a big property type to kind of really buy in, you have a lot of choices, especially for the 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. For the 4 and 5 usually are quite limited. And it's a matter of whether do you want to pay the price point? Are you okay with the development, the integrated accessibility, the advantages that you get from the integrated transport hub? These are all the measures to see yourself staying in this property for at least beyond 10 years. All right, if this is so, why not? I think I find personally reserve residences, in terms of what they comprises as an integrated property, they have a lot of things to offer. But of course, from a pricing perspective and some of the layout, I have my reserves on some of them because they are not traditionally the normal layout that we see normally. So that is something that we have to be a little bit more careful about. So moving forward, right, now that we've covered all the 1 to 5 bedroom units, I also want to touch on a little bit, as I mentioned with you all just in the beginning, I also want to touch on to give you a very great breakdown of the prices and the type of units around Beauty World area and what are the prices commanding, so that you can have a sense if today you're going to go into reserve residences, what is the estimated pricing you're going to be expecting, and would it make sense for you to enter, or could there be any other better properties out there that you could match what your objective is, what your family plans are? And if you have not been looking at numbers, this portion will be, this segment will actually be very advantageous to you. And do reach out to me if you find any of this data that you do not know how to interpret them better. You want a further discussion on it, feel free to just reach out to me, and I'll be more than glad to guide you step by step to see it differently. All right. So let me just switch my screen a little bit. Let me just give me a second. All right. So I'm going to show you the entire comparison for Beauty World area in terms of pricing this time around. Okay, from pricing as well as the type of unit type that we are going to do comparison on. Yes. Okay. So as we know, right, in Beauty World area, right, I'm going to show you all where is it, when are they going to TOP, whether are they an old property, a resale property, or new property. Okay, so these are all the things that we're going to compare, and we're going to compare prices in terms of per square foot, in terms of size, as well as absolute figure. So if you can see this, right, we are talking about in Beauty World area, we are talking about multiple new properties that is coming. So besides the reserve that is currently already do the details for the launch, they already kind of promoted it. So this is the latest launch that we're expecting. But you also must track back a little bit of the history on what happened in the past. Of course, we are talking about Mayfair Modern, all right, which both are, of course, the 99 leasehold property. So they are the closest comparison, as well as Daintree, which is a leasehold property. But not forgetting, in the Beauty World area, we are also having some of the freehold properties. And the link is basically just right in front of your reserve residences. So if you understand this and you start comparing prices, right, you also must also understand that today, if let's say we're going to reserve residences, it's a leasehold property, how do I match up against some of the nearby leasehold and some of the nearby freehold properties? And I'm going to show you a lot of numbers, so just bear with me. We're going to cover the 1, 2 bedrooms and some of the 3 bedrooms just to see the prices comparison. So bear with me as we go through. All right, so this is usually the kind of research we do for every of our clients before we buy properties, because today we don't want to be buying into a certain project at the highest possible price. Okay, so even though it's a fantastic property, we also want to benchmark ourselves is it worth to pay that huge premium or a little bit more premium in order to get this property? All right, so why do we do that? Because if we go in as the highest, then it will risk our profit margin. That's one. Second is our exit perhaps could be, we need to hold it a little longer for us to exit in time to come, right? And if let's say today you are not buying the highest, you are buying the average, even some of the lowest possible pricing, then perhaps your exit strategy is more flexible. You can easily exit it later on. So let's just take a look at some of the comparison. Okay, so I will just do a cover of to do a comparison between the freehold as well as the leasehold type properties. Let's remove reserve out first. I just want to show you that for Mayfair Garden, right, you can see that they are going to TOP in 2023, right? Their 1 bedroom, right, which is a 506 square foot, is already, people are accepting at about $2,000 per square foot. And these are not asking pricing. These are all transacted prices for the Mayfair as well as the Link. So we do a comparison based on transactions. The only transactions that we don't have is reserve residences because prices are not out yet. So we're using that as an estimate. But for Mayfair Garden, you can see 1 bedroom is already 1,977. Okay. And the Mayfair Modern, the third floor itself is already at 2,057. So you can see they are basically side by side, but one is really easily about $100 per square foot, about 50, 60, $70 per square foot. And their 1+ study averaging is also about $2,000 per square foot. Okay, for Mayfair Garden. So Mayfair Modern don't have a 1+ study. They only have a 2-bed, 2-bath, which is already at least 1.4 million, which is comes to about 2,000 per square foot. And a Mayfair Garden is also going at about 1.426. But you must take note, for 1.426, right, the 2-bed, 2-bath is bigger at 710. Where else for Mayfair Modern is only at 689. All right, so when we do comparison like this, every single unit type, you will have a very good estimate. Okay, are we overpaying for a certain property in a certain location? So even 99 leasehold properties are already hovering at $2,000 per square foot, then the next question you must ask yourself is, with the integration for reserve residences, with the integrated transport hub, with the shopping mall, with the link bridge to the community hub, how much more should I be paying a premium? Will $300 per square foot more make sense? Will $500 per square foot more make sense or not? So this is where we determine pricing. And also the reason why I want to bring up the link, because the link is a freehold property. And if you can see, their 1-bedroom is already hovering about $2,300 per square foot. Okay, their 2-bed, 1-bath are already $2,001 to $2,002 per square foot. And this is a freehold property, my friend. And they're just across you. They also have some commercial space downstairs, and they are also nearer to the MRT. Okay, and their 2-bed, 2-bath, you can see averagely about 2001 to 2003, and these are all transacted prices. Okay, I did not use the highest floor, I just used the average mid floor as a comparison. Their 3 bedrooms are already about 2,000 per square foot, 4 bedroom are $2,000 per square foot. So based on our estimate for reserve residences, from here you can see very clearly, if today I'm buying a 1-bedroom unit at 495 square foot at $2,500 per square foot versus a 1-bedroom, although this is smaller, at $2,300 per square foot, is it justifiable to pay that extra $200 per square foot for the integrated property? Okay, so if you ask me from a comparison perspective, the 1-bedrooms will definitely move very, very fast. Okay, because it's still very, very comparable. But as we move forward, then we have to start asking ourselves for the 2-bed and the 3 and 4-bedroom. If we do a comparison based on an estimate of their launch price, is it worth to pay that 300, 400 extra in terms of per square foot? So this gives you a benchmark of what kind of pricing can you accept the day when you are going for your balloting, and when they release the pricing to you on the spot, you kind of have to make a decision within that first 5 minutes. What kind of pricing does it go above the entire market, or does it go below a certain price point? If you have not done this research, do check with us so that we can kind of guide you through, so that when the day comes, you will be able to determine what is the right price point for you to enter and not just jump in guessing yourself. Okay, so this is of course the very center of the entire Beauty World area, but we also want to do a little bit more comparison, slightly further away, and see how the pricing goes. Because the further away from Beauty World area, right, we're talking about, there's also leasehold properties like Daintree. Okay, so Daintree, their 1-bedroom are hovering only about 1,007 to 1,008 plus per square foot. Okay, why is this so? Because of course they are further away lah. Okay, so they are further away from the MRT, they don't have integrated, but yet we are not safe very, very far away. Like, okay, you can actually walk there, or you can just take 1, 2 bus stops. You can actually go into the heart of the entire Beauty World transformation going on. You can still go to the shopping mall, you can still go to the MRT. So the question is, a leasehold property that is a little bit more in the quiet zone, the landed zone, they are going for about 1,007 to 1,008 plus per square foot. And View at Kismis, which is also a 99 leasehold property, their average per square foot is about $1,006 to $1,007 when transacted. Okay, you can take a look at the bigger 3 bedrooms as well. All are hovering about $1,006 to $1,007 per square foot. So today, if let's say we are looking at, depending on how much they launch, okay, if let's say the average is about 2004 to 2005, we will have to ask ourselves for reserve, does it command all this extra premium because it's an integrated property? Okay, so there's always mixed answers for this. Some of them, they don't see the point for it, but those who enjoy convenience, those who, yield for the convenience of MRT, shopping mall, they don't want to think so much. They can just come down and purchase your grocery and your food. They value more on the convenience, which is why they may even accept the fact that, hey, even if it's $500 per square foot, I don't mind paying for it. But question you must ask yourself is also, how are we going to exit in time to come? Will people buy more higher, at least $200 per square foot, higher than me in the years when I want to sell? So these are all questions that it's not through a video like this you're able to become an expert in property. Okay, it takes years and years of experience, and that's where we will use our expertise, our research, our 5-point analysis in our REI method to guide you as a homeowner, as an investor, to kind of know what price point do you want to enter. Whether if let's say the price point reached to a certain percentage, let's say 20% more, it doesn't make sense for us to still purchase this property because this property is something is so good. All right, so these are all behind the scene. We will want to make sure that we are doing it correctly. All right, so of course, from here, we also look at the latest property, which is Forex. Okay, Forex is also another one that is going to be very, very soon. And the average per square foot, you can see they don't even cross the $2,200 per square foot. Okay, so this is something that we have to be very careful about, because Forex is a freehold property. It is deeper inside, but the distance, again, I said, is only 2 to 3 bus stops away. You are going to go, you are still able to enjoy the entire development of the entire changes of transformation of Beauty World. Is it worth to pay a huge premium just for that convenience? So this is something that you have to ask yourself, all right? Is it worth to pay that premium, so much more premium, or that distance of 10 minutes, 15 minutes is not going to make a huge difference? So every buyers, every investors have our own directions, and why I will share with you just now in terms of your priority. What is your criteria and priority that you want to buy this property for? Whether is it for own stay for the longest time, for the next 10 to 15 years? Is it you buy this because you want to maybe cash it out and make a profit in the next 3 to 5 years? What is your objective? So from your objective, then we can go back into the storyboard, go back and see, okay, are there maybe there are other better properties that you do not know? You kind of missed out because of all the things that is going on in the marketplace. There's a lot of noises. There was a lot of media attention. And then you forgot that actually maybe there are other options out there that could be better. So our role here is to really assess and help you determine what property suits you, even though it may be something a little bit older, or it could be some properties that were launched maybe 2 to 3 years ago. We don't know. And that's when we have to help you to do research across the entire Singapore using data, using numbers to carefully help you select the correct properties based on your objective. Does it make sense? All right, so this is some of the studies we usually do before we even enter into this property. So of course you can say that, hey, Edmund, but I mean, every property also increase in prices, ma. So if I buy today, even though I'm buying maybe $300, $400 per square foot more than the surrounding, they are so far away, it can be justified. Fair. Even if you can justify it, by all means, like I said, we are not saying that reserve residences is overpriced. We do not know yet. Okay, we do not know what's the strategy they can, but based on the estimates, we are already looking at about $2,400 to $2,500 plus per square foot for the integration. So another good part for those who are buying into this property, right? I'm not pouring cold water here. Okay, it's a very unbiased sharing here. But I also want to share with you, even though today you may be thinking, oh, Edmund, that means if I buy today, I may be a little bit higher in terms of what I pay for. Is it worth it? I want to assure you, the key thing about Beauty World is undergoing a huge transformation. Okay, the transformation will last until 2030 and is still ongoing. We are not seeing the last of the full transformation yet. And with reserve residences coming in, I can tell you this will be one of the major start of the entire area where they're going to kind of get the old out and the new in very, very quickly. Because reserve residences right now, they are launching, right? We are also knowing that basically there are 2 plots, okay? There are 3 plots of land that potentially are going to come out very, very soon. So the first plot will be just directly opposite the reserve residences site. So this one already been projected to launch about maybe 2,004 plus per square foot based on the land that they purchased by Bukit Sembawang. And this is a very small development plot. You're right in front of reserve residences. Okay, so in case you do not know, there is going to be a new building in front of you. Okay, for those who are, if you're intending to buy along the Upper Bukit Timah stretch. Okay, correct. The Jurong Churchill side, sorry. All right, so you must know there will be a future plan, and this property already sold. So likely when they want to start launching and everything could be end of this year or even next year onwards. And of course, a future plan of what we are seeing is that there will be also another mixed development, okay, which is where the open car park right now is. Okay, my projection and what I study from the master plan and urban planning, right, it will not be so quick. Okay, because chances are they're going to move the Bukit Timah market over here first for temporary stay. Okay, so after a couple of years, when Bukit Timah market becomes a community hub already, then they will move them back into this area before they start developing the mixed development 99 years government land by the MRT. Okay, so by the time this has been done, perhaps it could be another 3 to 4 more years. But this will help you if you are buying reserve today, because it can also enhance your pricing. Because do you think that whoever going to buy this place, let's say in 3 to 4 years down the road, buying the land, would it buy cheaper than what Bukit Sembawang has paid for, or even what reserve residences developers has paid for? The land price will definitely be a little more higher. And not only that, further away, we have the future residential, which is a leasehold property government land that is just beside Pei Hwa. No news has been given about this information, but these are the future up and coming transformation that we're seeing for new developments, new land deeds, all the way until 2030. So we're just seeing the start of the entire beauty world transformation. Right now, we're in the midst of it. Okay, which is why even while you're in the midst of it, the way I see is, even if we are paying a little bit more premium for it, is because we no need to wait for the transformation to happen. Okay, some people, when they go into a wrong area, they have to wait 10 years for the entire area to have all these amenities. So today, when you're buying the reserve residences, when you buy into it, you know things are already there. Okay, so when things are already there, it is okay to pay a little bit premium. Doesn't matter, because you get to enjoy the convenience. Everything is well connected already. So, but of course, if you are very sensitive in terms of pricing and you're looking for a shorter term of entry to exit, perhaps you also want to explore other possibilities. Could there be something better out there, and not just buying into the media attention and the hype that is going on at the moment? Okay, so I hope that today, what I share with you in terms of the layout, the stack, the facing, and my views about which is the most price sensitive one and the most expensive ones, can give you some guidelines on how we can help you to look at properties. Okay, very, very important. Okay, and of course, just now from the pricing for all the different parts of the different developments, from 1 bedroom all the way to 3 bedrooms, we have done a careful breakdown in terms of prices. And one glance, you are able to see how much of a difference of prices between each development. So that gives you a good benchmark. Like today, the extra premium that we're going to pay. I can't reject the idea that, of course, we are going to pay a premium. Why? Because it's integrated properties. It's definitely going to it's going to definitely be more expensive than everyone else. But the question we must ask ourselves is it worth to pay that premium? Is it worth to pay that extra for all these items A to Z, for example? So if we are able to accept the fact that the premium is justifiable, and with the surrounding land plots that are going to help you in terms of pricing, then perhaps reserve residences is definitely the good purchase that you want to go for, provided you get a good queue number and you can get the pricing that you want. Okay, so that is the big hope strategy that nobody knows until the launch day. So I hope that today, whatever I share with you, take it really and understand it. And because from a pricing perspective and the layout, as well as what units to choose, if you have not done so, okay, you have not really accurately decide whether this property is for you or not, do reach out to me. You know, me and my team will be able to rush out certain of this comparison to help you make a better decision. And perhaps we still have some time to even put in our check for balloting, and hope that we can actually get a good unit in this development. All right, with that, thank you so much for those who tune in, and I'm glad that I'm able to value add to you once again with this video. So don't forget to subscribe and like and share this out so that more others are able to know how to actually spot properties in today's marketplace using the REI method. With that, this is Edmund signing off. I see you guys real soon. Cheers.